unfortunate. And so we have a lot to talk about, just a lot to get to. And if you Hi everybody, welcome
Let's
to the
talk about
conversation.
love, health and wellness, transformation, yeah, we got it. Discuss your breakthroughs, national
Our local
issues.
Bahamians, but also those who are listening around the region and the world this afternoon. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have an audience that really from Europe to the United States, Canada, around the region, and of course, Bahamians right here who are very interested in just wanting to know the answers and ask the questions that get them the answers that they seek. Before we introduce
a little inspiration, tune into the conversation. Talk about it on the conversation.
This is the time,
when you need a little
Shenique, when the country really need to find ways to join together to fight common problems that we have. Collaborative leadership.
You need a little conversation. We can go far with the conversation. Here with Shenique on the conversation, yeah.
Please share the video, share. Tag some people in the live feed, share it in your private Facebook group, share it in your WhatsApp group.
Here with Shenique on the conversation, yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the conversation. It's a brand new week here on the show. Of course, it's a short week. I know you guys are excited about that, right? Like I was always just excited about a holiday week. Friday, rather, is Labor Day. And so I know that you all are looking forward to the break, but there's a lot happening. Who's paying attention to the budget? Now, of course, the debate hasn't started as yet. The Prime Minister got things started off with the budget communication last week. We're going to look at that, but it's a lot that's pressing in the country still. In particular, you all have been seeing the videos on this page and in the news with the Ministry of Works that is in the middle of like a demolition exercise in Abaco, in those shanty towns that are illegally built, and the structures that are hazardous to the residents' safety and health, and also illegal. Well, those residents are saying, hold up, Bahamas government, not too quickly. And they've reached out to the United Nations and to ask for an intervention. What do you think about that? What y'all think about that? Like that make you vex or what? So we're going to talk about all of that today. Good afternoon to everybody who is watching. It's good to have you all streaming live today. As you come in, do share the live stream, do share the video, and let's get going. And again, once again, thank you all so much for tuning in today. Now let's get to the panelists. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome first to the conversation this afternoon, Ali McIntosh, who is the servant leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party. We also have Garth Rosborough, who is the leader of the the PNC. We'll get that name right in just a second. And also Obi Roberts, who is affiliated with another political organization here. But welcome to the conversation. Garth, I want to just jump in with you first. Please, PNC, People's National Coalition, let me know if I got that correctly. I don't want to at all slight any of my panelists. You are muted, Garth.
That is correct. The People's National Coalition.
Okay, welcome guys to the conversation. We are still awaiting Obi, but guess what? We're going and we're going to run right in. Good afternoon to you, Ali. It's great seeing you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Listen, let's just look at several things that's happening in the country right now. Among them, and you both, and what is so amazing with you two in particular, you are leaders of political organizations. And so this is going to be multi-level, this first discussion and first topic. The topic of immigration, nothing new to the country. This has been an ongoing issue for decades, but now it's at a different level because of social media, because of everything that's happening. Over the weekend, for example, a local South Florida affiliate broadcasted that basically, the Bahamas government was I guess, because of the demolition exercises, put so many people out of their homes and are homeless. And then we see the headlines where many of the residents and their kids in particular decided that they would petition the United Nations. Let us just talk about that. Let's just start, first of all, from the surface of it. It really is something that we have been dealing with. It's a vexing issue for Bahamians. Let us just talk about that by itself. Is the Ministry of Public Works / the government heartless? Or what are your thoughts about what is happening, the demolition exercises that are happening, particularly in that area called the farm, that's new after Dorian? How do you explain it? How do you all see it?
If I may start, I
Go ahead.
good evening, everyone.
Go ahead, Ms. McIntosh.
Good evening. Shenique, I think this is a very
Hello.
interesting. Can you hear me?
No, we can hear you. We can hear you. Ali,
Okay.
we can hear you. Ali McIntosh, Garth, if you cannot hear, maybe you can go. Okay, good. Okay, go ahead. Okay, great. Go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation we have here. Of course, I'm a little familiar with the Abaco, having been in and out of Abaco for the past 2 decades. The farm isn't new. Most people just discovered it during Dorian, that the amount of people who lived in that area and how many people occupy that area. What I think is the big problem here is not just about immigration, but about operating on illegal land or putting houses that are not properly zoned, that are not proper on places that they should not be. So we cannot just look at this as some immigration problem and them bringing whoever, I'm sure it is Rights Bahamas, having invited the United Nations to look at this situation. They know that the problem is not a simple problem of just mistreating or trying to mistreat immigrants, but the point of persons putting up illegal housing in places that they should not put them up. And the fact that NGOs came into the country after Dorian and helped these migrants to put up houses where they should not put up houses. So I think the United Nations is going to have to look at their organizations or organizations associated with the UN that came in here and helped migrant put up houses where they should not put them up.
Because let's just be real, man, I don't care which organization it is. No one from no other country can go to the United States and set up illegal communities. But go ahead, Garth, you jump in. Your thoughts on just from the surface of it, what is happening and what has been really a very sticky situation in the Bahamas for decades, really. Unmute your mic, please, Garth.
Yeah, the initial situation of the Haitian migration heading to the north resulted basically in a symbiotic situation where we as Bahamians have benefited from their labor. These were the people who manicured the farms in Abaco. These were the people who took care of our landscape here in New Providence and other places. But then we had people who were more industrious, like those in Long Island, who you wouldn't find a migration or an immigration issue. And so it tells me that as long as we continue to bend into having this type of labor force in our country, we ourselves have to take some blame for it. In terms of the shanty towns, Ms. McIntosh is quite correct. You cannot go in any country around the world and just establish a place of domicile. In the United States, my family they purchased a home on the market for $15,000 with every plan to renovate the home and to make it livable or more livable. And as soon as he got it up the inside, the inspector showed up. You need a permit for the plumbing, you need a permit for the light, you need a permit for the air conditioning, you need a permit for the roof. Everything required a permit. And so as to why the Bahamas, every time we attempt to take our country to a higher standard, we have these issues with the international public saying to us, or the community saying to us, how we need to govern our country. And I stand with the government on this. No one needs to lose their home. No one needs to lose their shelter. But as correctly said before, these people were given adequate measure in order to prepare themselves to, number one, to vacate. But also, I think most of the migrant people in our country understand that there is a hidden standard, if not public enough for them, to where you just cannot go in the bush and erect a house. You go in places like Carmichael Road. We got 3-story houses that are in much better conditions than the homes of Bahamians. So when you look at Baintown and Grantstown and the inner city, Angliston, St. Barnabas, we still have people with outside toilets. But we have a migrant population that, number one, didn't have to purchase the property, and then they erect these lavish homes, and they're using the electrical current from the poles without the use of a meter. So there's no BPL. So every time you see the surcharge on your light bill, this is for all of the unaccounted people that are using electricity in our country, using the fuel in our country, and it's becoming nothing but a menace. And so we have to correct this problem because the average Bahamian citizen is being affected in the negative way. We have the fourth highest utility rate in the world because we're paying for the utility rates of people who are not registered to use our electrical services. And then we have the sixth highest cost of living because everyone comes in and takes advantage of the Bahamas, but the people themselves, we have no advantage.
Now, Garth, you just brought up something that will make every Bahamian vex. You are saying that we are paying for this illegal migration or immigration problem in more ways than we even considered. We are paying that one among the highest power bills anywhere in the world because we have to pay for them because they're stealing it and getting it by however means they're getting it. But obviously the costings fall back on us.
Always, Shenique. As Mr. Rosborough was saying, the whatever is done in a country illegally, the taxpayers end up paying for it. And so, based on the fact that there is illegality in this housing situation that we are talking about, facilitated by, to a great degree, the International Organization on Migration. Okay, when they came in here after Dorian, I met with them, and that was their plight. When they realized that I was not interested in facilitating anything that would relate to what they were talking about, and they found someone else who is now leading that charge in the name of Louis Georges. I know he is their representative, and I'm not saying anything that is not known, but the fact is they have assisted the migration population to do these things. And by the way, if they were not concerned about whether they were legal, they should have been concerned. So these are the things that should be reported to the United Nations in regards to who has caused this to happen. Our government has to go by law, and law is to make sure that the rules, the regulations, the statutes, and the ordinances in this country relating to building codes must be upkept, and we have to keep that. And if these things are being facilitated by people, they should be called out. And that's why I'm doing today. They should be called out because they are now responsible. And we see that they are some of the same people that are helping and asking the migration or the immigrants to now demonstrate against the government of the Bahamas.
But how can we? And that's what I want to know. You both are leaders of political organizations, leaders in this country. How can we allow that? How can we allow even the government itself to be strong-armed? Because when you have powerful organizations like Amnesty International, the United Nations coming against you and saying, listen, no, stop what you're doing, and you must do it this way, you must do it that way. I mean, before long, you know how things are. Then they begin putting the squeeze on a country. And so how is it? How can we work around that, get over that, beyond that? Because Bahamians are frustrated. Many Bahamians feel as though, wait a minute, in order to just make an addition onto my house, I need this permit, that one, the next one, and entire communities are being set up. How can people figure that they are empowered to come here or to be here and do that?
I'll let you go first, Scott.
Well, you see, and I'm not only going to blame the Haitian community. There are some of us that, as our history tells us from Africa, that we were sold out by our own. The people who are responsible for the inspection of these so-called properties, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. These people are able to collect these fees under the table. I'm not saying something that I think or something I considered. I know this to be a fact. That some people are paid under the table. And then Bahamian people, we love the tip idea. And when it comes back to bite the entire population, we quickly throw the blame only on the Haitian people or Louis Georges or whoever. But we have to also take some blame also for ourselves. Yes. When we say we want better, We have to mean better in our own minds. We have to say to ourselves, we demand smart cities. We demand, as Cassius Stewart said some 22 years ago, and now Mr. Lincoln Bain is saying, Bahamians should have some entitlement to land themselves. What's the sense someone coming from outside your country and being able to take an acre of land? They have a 3-story house. They have the pigs and the goats and everything else going on. They don't pay no light bill. And you, the Bahamian, you are a civil servant. And a civil servant cannot afford a mortgage. Something has to be wrong with that picture.
Wow.
And then if the civil servant isn't earning sufficient enough to get a house, and I'm raising my hand here as a God-fearing man myself, he has to take a tip. His wife was putting pressure on him. Baby, we need to have a house. Baby, we need a new car. Baby, we need to go to Miami. The children need extra lunch money. The children need Lee jeans or whatever jeans they're wearing right now. Where's he going to get this money from with the cost of living? Tip, tip, tip. And so we have chaos in our society because the bottom line is that we do not know how to respect each other. The system can only work when we have respect, Ms. Shenique Miller.
Yes.
Very, very true. Ali?
I quite agree. The rule of law has to be supreme in the country. Of course, the preamble of the Constitution indicated that we must have respect. In fact, an abiding respect for the rule of law. That was the purpose the founders put it in there, is that we would not get to a society that we are living in now. And God brought that to our attention. The fact that all these ordinances are thrown out of the door because of the fact that we are not doing what we're supposed to. Even our sovereignty should not and cannot be interfered with, even by the United Nations.
Exactly.
The United Nations organization, and we are happy that they came in and they see that we were simply abiding by the law.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is,
and by the way, Ali, just to interject while you're there, they did send out an official release. I'm sure you both saw it. They basically gave the government passing marks, like A's. Great job after Dorian, great job after COVID. So the thing is, and they also toured the Shanty Town or the area and to see what's happening there. So we will see exactly what comes out of that when they go back and reassess. But go ahead, Ali.
I do agree that, and like God, I agree with the government in this regard, because Bahamians cannot do it themselves. They cannot build without permits. They cannot just take possession of somebody's land. And the fact that the Bahamas is a sovereign nation, I get back to that point of the sovereignty of the nation, means even organizations like International Organization of Migration should not be allowed to come in here, strong arm the government, and help the migrants and even illegal migrants to go ahead and build houses in Abaco. That is a disgrace. And I'm sorry, it's a strong language, but
it is.
That they were strong, they strong armed the government and they let it happen. It should not be allowed to happen.
And Ali, thank you, because you went in the direction I want to now go into. Okay. So after, everybody was very, very, compassionate. Everybody just felt, wow, Dorian, and look at what happened, etc. But did the government drop the ball when they allowed these international organizations to come in, out of goodwill, but to come in and demand and just bulldoze and say, nope, houses go in here, we building this here? Where does the government bear responsibility here for that?
Yes, they do. They did drop the ball. I must say that, because just after Dorian, of course, I and my associates have been very much involved with the Dorian and helping the people of Abaco who were in Nassau. And as I said, that's how I came in contact with the international organization. And the government dropped the ball because they allowed them to strong arm them. They did not. I know that the prime minister pushed back for half a second. But the point is that they know they were in Abaco helping the migrants build these houses back. And they did not do anything. They should have stopped them before it gone any further. Some of these things were on international TV when these people were building, and the government still allowed it to go on. So they dropped the ball. So now they are now trying to pick up the pieces to go ahead and break down these houses. It would not be inhumane. It would not seem inhumane if we had made sure the law was carried forth from day one. We would not be in this condition.
Yes, absolutely. If you're just joining us, this is a Hot Topics Monday. My guest this afternoon, leaders of two political organizations, Ali McIntosh, servant leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party, Garth Rosborough, leader of the People's National Coalition, and they both are here discussing national issues, particularly that issue in Abaco at the shanty town called the Farm that really is stirring up and getting heated. You saw kids. They have the kids with the placards saying, "United Nations, come help us. This is illegal. This is wrong." Guys, you heard this language. You all saw the language. Illegal, wrong. Oh gosh, just a number of words directed towards the government, saying that the Bahamas government is being, just I guess, being just so awful to these people. It really it's doing its service purpose, because it grabs your attention and it causes you to question and say, well, what the Bahamas government doing to these children? What's happening?
Go ahead, sorry, God, go ahead.
Here's the truth, and Ms. McIntosh, you can join in on this if you'd like. What is the difference in my mind between these very same children raising these placards and making a complaint about their homes being demolished, and those same placards being shown on the island of Haiti, or the island of Hispaniola, but Haiti being the country of their domain? If they did the same thing in Haiti, would the world really care? So really and truly, the attack has nothing to do with bringing justice for these particular people. It's an outright attack against you, the people of the Bahamas. You have something that the world wants. Nobody complains about a man who has no money, other than you're broke, we don't have time for you. But a man who has money and you can't get $1 out of his pocket, you make a complaint. You're cheap, you're tight. You must be from Acklands, so no insult to Acklands, but that's just the way it is. But because they know we have something precious here, the very country that we call home, and everyone around the world in the 200 countries of the WTO wants a part of this country. Any fault they can find to say that we cannot properly govern our country on our own, they will make a complaint and try to make a case to their other partners around the world. And this is why, Ms. McIntosh, even though you and I don't have much conversations at times, as much as we should, I've always said to people, what Ms. McIntosh is doing in terms of constitution reform is necessary. We have to tighten up our grip on our country, and we need the people of the Bahamas to stand with us against these evils, because the world wants us. The question is, do we want it ourselves?
Listen, Ali God says that very thing, those images we saw and those very strong words is an attack against the people of the Bahamas.
And the sovereignty. Let me tell you, let me bring up something that you might feel from left field, but think about this. The Bahamas, what is being happening here is being brought up by people who have been naturalized in the Bahamas by Article 7 of the Constitution. I have a concern with that. The fact, if these persons are not satisfied being in the Bahamas, they should go back to Haiti. If they were naturalized by Article 7 of the Constitution and they continue to try to affect and destroy our sovereignty or come against the Bahamian people and the sovereignty, their citizenship should be revoked and they should be sent back to where their parents were from. I am saying that because we cannot have the likes of whether Louis George or anyone in Rights Bahamas whose parents were from somewhere else. They come here and they've been naturalized by Article 7, and now they're putting problem after problem on the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I have a problem with this. And I think that we ought to consider that. If these people aren't satisfied to be in the Bahamas, settle with the sovereignty of this country, then they should go back to where their parents came from, no matter that they were born here. But if they cannot satisfy, then they should not be a citizen here, because this is a sovereign nation. The sovereignty of this nation is important for the protection of the people and the state from forces without and within. And according to Article 7 of the Constitution, of people who are naturalized by that particular article, based on the natural security of the nation, should cause them either to stay or go. If they can't satisfy, if they can't abide by the rules, if they can't abide by protecting the sovereignty, let them go back to the place where their parents were born.
Thank you very much, everybody, for streaming live today. Of course, we are in Hot Topics Monday, looking at the stories that have your attention, the headlines that have many of you talking and also wondering and asking questions. When you come in, please do share the live stream, tag several people in here. Let me get to some comments. By the way, social media audience, thank you very much for streaming today. Do share the live stream. Lewis Barton says, the governance in this country is ridiculous, F&M and PLP and so on. He is saying, Peachy Thurston says, we are paying the way for others which shouldn't even be here in many ways. Also, our tax dollars are providing them with health care, educating their children. We pay for their deportations, etc. They are costing us millions a year, year after year. That money should be used to assist our actual Bahamian citizens. I really don't understand what is going on in this country. And that is what exactly Peachy, what Garth and Ali talked about, the fact that, listen, we are paying for this. It is now come on our doorsteps, and people are feeling it more now because of where the economy stands. The economy has been hit hard in 2019. It was hit hard in 2020. And that continues to happen. And so the point is now people are saying, man, hold up, wait a minute, this is a bit much. And when you go and you check out where the leakages are and where it's costing you more, then you start to ask questions and be very upset about it, and rightly so. Jay Rashad says, question, do we benefit in any way from being, I guess, a member of the United Nations? You both want to perhaps jump in for a second and answer that?
Yeah, definitely. We do benefit being a part of the United Nations. We benefit from being a part of a global society.
A global, and that is why even with WTO, even though we question and talk about it, like benefits and membership kind of thing. Yeah, but go ahead, Garth.
So you look at the type of car that you drive, the clothes that you wear, all of the toiletries in your home, your dishware in your kitchen, all of these things are basically foreign made. We don't do any type of industry here that you can say holistically runs an entire home. However, I want to say, Ms. Miller, that today I know, and I'm sure everyone listening knows, we're not just attacking the people from Haiti, but any foreigner that comes into this country. There are rules and regulations to follow. One thing that bothers me, Ms. Miller, is the influx of foreigners working in the exclusive communities. And this is something that many have known about. So I don't just want to focus on just our brothers and sisters.
Okay, then. Well, guess what then? Okay, fine. Let's go there for a second. Let's talk about the burgeoning Filipino community in the Bahamas and the other communities, because the people behind the gates don't want you all there. Let's talk about that. And why is that? Why is that?
And so what they have done, they've put us between two crosses. Between the Filipino, the people from China, the people from Europe, the people from Canada, the people from America, the people from Germany. And then you have our brothers and sisters to the south, Jamaica, Haiti, Barbados, who are coming here into the Bahamas. And the persons who are left out is the Bahamians themselves. And Ms. McIntosh, we have to find a way, Ms. Miller, to empower our Bahamian people, to give them the Constitution is available for us. We must find a way for our Bahamian people to be able to live comfortably, our civil servants, to be able to afford a home, for children to be educated if needs be. This Bahamas is a land of promise. But the promise seems to have been thrown out of the window, Ms. Miller. And once again, like you said, behind the gates, we have a big Filipino community. They're in our hospitals. Where is the strength for the Bahamian people? Where's the government?
Well, the thing about it is, that's domestic you're talking about. Then you talk now about medical and health care. So they are also prominent in our health sector. What is the issue there? Are we not? And see, that is where it is many questions that's happening. That it's almost like the Black American situation in the United States, where they feel as though foreign Blacks and other foreigners have come and are being more predominant and really living the American dream. Have we become too lax as a people and sat back? And that's why everybody else coming and taking over. What is the answer?
Yeah, that is correct, Ms. Miller. The Bahamian people now must become more aggressive. When I went to school in Jamaica, the one thing that I respected about Jamaicans is that they're very analytical and education is key. Many Jamaicans want to flee Jamaica. There are some who are comfortable, of course, but wherever Jamaican goes around the world, there's one thing that you're sure about, that they are Jamaican. And they, like the Haitians, you shared with me earlier, Ms. Miller, that some $60 million leaves this country from the pockets of Haitians living in our country that goes back to Jamaica. Imagine how much billions of dollars goes back to the Philippines and goes to America through the bone fishing lodges that they have here in our country. You have foreigners owning fishing lodges that Bahamians cannot own. Something is wrong with that picture. Definitely wrong. Our policies are not Bahamian friendly. We've not had a government in this country for the last 20 or more years that has been Bahamian friendly. They've simply gone in there, looked out for their rich foreign friends. They've built a massive hotel on the Cable Beach Strip. That hotel could have been on Andros to attract people to Andros, where you can control your migration issues. But you continue to keep everything in Nassau, knowing very well that you don't have the capacity or ability to control your immigration issue. There are ways to defend ourselves against these ills. But as long as the Bahamas continues to pussyfoot and play with these issues, the United Nations and those other forces around the world who are, in quote, our friends, will continue to taunt us and critique us for our failures.
But let's also be very transparent here. Does a country this size that you say we produce nothing, we can't even 50% feed ourselves, imagine anything else, do we even have a choice?
We have no choice in the matter if you want to eat. I recall about 2 years ago, to my distraught, I saw a mountain of onions in North Andros being thrown away and discarded. And from my inside source, being a former consultant for agriculture in the country, I found out that a trailer loads of onions were on their way from Panama at the same time. How is that possible? You're going to throw away the ones that our people produce, and you're going to import the ones from another country. You're not even sure what's in those onions that are coming into our country. What poisons are in there? We have a whole lot of this. Do not export. What is it? Import only?
Import only.
Yeah, Doritos, chips, and stuff that we love to eat. Export only. The vaccine now, export only. And we have to receive these things. Why? Because we know we need help. But the help that we need, we don't have. The government can use some of these migrant workers. Let's just simply say we want to have a large mango plantation on North Andros or South Andros. Give the people a permit. America does it. They have workers.
Canada does it. Yeah. Canada does it, and so I want you both to then sort of weigh in on this aspect of it. Do we need our population size to expand, and can we use very strategically and smartly this immigration issue that appears that we have been saddled with for decades? Can we use that then to begin feeding ourselves, obviously properly managed and supervised, to begin feeding ourselves, to begin creating new industries? Ali, what do you say?
Shenique, I agree. Sorry about that. My internet dropped for a bit.
Yes.
But we are committed to legal migration. So the Bahamas government, whether it is a BCP government, a PLP government, FNM government, PNC government, the fact is the Bahamas government must be committed to legal migration, so that everybody who is here must be accounted for. We can't have a country where we don't know who is here. You know, there are people that are, that are illegal in the United States. And even though they're legal, the government of the United States know where they are. Whether they're in Georgia or Alabama, they know where they are. So you're never under the radar if a country is committed to make sure that they have people who are regularized. Now, based on the concept of what is happening here, we can use this migration population to expand the country, but they have to be legal. We just can't do it without them being legal, because that means they are taking the opportunity to do their own things and create a country within a country. We can't do that. If we're going to develop the Bahamas must be developed by the Bahamian government. And the Bahamian government must know who is here and who is working.
Very
true. We can, if we are going to expand the country, we have to we will be able to use the migrant population, and they can come and go as the contract was in the United States. That can happen in terms of helping farming and fishing in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Yes, I absolutely agree because someone just brought it to my attention. I was having a conversation and they were talking about the fact that, if you and I are in a store or some kind of it's only so many people we could sell to. The population needs growing, but it needs to be done so properly, supervised, and like you say, Ali, know who everybody is in these borders. Everyone. Let me get to a few more comments and then of course I'll go to a break. Cornelius Reckley says, we are denied a lot for what we try to do, although getting the proper documentation. But we watch a lot go up in our pool of denial. Lewis Barton says the government worker's salary isn't enough, hence open the door for corruption. Isn't there, we'll talk about that when we come back after the break about at least what is being proposed, I think with a public service increase in salary for this fiscal period. We'll talk about that in a second and see it's necessary, but what does that come with? What does that cost us? What does that come with? P.G. Thurston says those who broke the law should have whatever papers they have revoked and be deported. Why is this problem still being petted up and pampered? This matter must be taken seriously forthwith. Cheryl Bettles, yes, empower people, give the people at least one piece of land and give them a hand up. That right there, Cheryl, I don't. Maybe give them one piece of land, each person.
You can do that, Shenique, in a responsible way. Everyone can get a piece of land, but you can do that actually in a very structured way. And I believe that if a Bahamian is one who is making a contribution to society, by all means, we can give them a hand up because everyone is not born with a silver spoon in their mouth. We have so many citizens who can be nurses, who can be doctors, who can be lawyers, but they never had that financial opportunity based on family situations to where they can actually be all that they can be. I believe today that until we are able to tell a Bahamian that you too can go to the moon, we will not be any better. We have to make Bahamians believe that wherever you are as a citizen of this country, you still can be whatever you want to be. The sky is...
Okay, then it sounds like you're calling for a type of leadership where inspiration and hope is are the central themes and central message while building a country. So we will, guess what? Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, I'll get to more of your comments. And also we're going to talk about what's needed right now in terms of this leadership to inspire Bahamians, to cause them to want to do better, strive for more, dream bigger, and decide that they're going to begin working again, dreaming again, envisioning again. This is The Conversation. This is Hot Topics Monday. We're going to take a quick break. Please do share the live stream. Stay exactly where you are. We'll come back right after this.
To shed some extra inches of unwanted belly fat. Did you know that there are alternatives to surgery to get rid of unwanted fat? Let Therapy Natural Health Spa help you reduce fat without surgery. Therapy Natural Health Spa employs a series of methods in a customized plan to suit your fat loss goals. Target those stubborn and challenging areas on the body with our cavitation body shaper that uses heating lasers to break up and melt fat during each session. Did you know that as you drink water and exercise, that your lymphatic system and liver work together to help eliminate fat? Let Therapy Natural Health Spa help you get the results you've been waiting for. Call us for a free consultation and let Therapy Natural Health Spa work out a plan for you. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook. Our numbers are 393-1126 or 806-1132.
Maybe it's for the thrill or the scenery, or maybe you do it for the speed, or maybe it's for the baby. It might just be for the next stop, or even for the beautiful moments. Whatever your reason for driving, we'll be there to keep you going. Atura Auto, servicing your vehicle at a price that keeps your pockets happy. Call us today.
It's good to have you all streaming live today. Please do share the live stream. Share the live stream, tag several people in here. Each one tag one and then share. How about that? That's a deal, right? Let me get to some comments. Nakia Walgo says, I live in Freeport and we can't build anything on our property, which we hold a deed of conveyance for without applying for permits and pass several inspections. Building codes must be adhered to or you will not be approved. And well, you know, Grand Bahama certainly has those laws and they enforce them. Lisa Humes Barrow says, because sentences against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in themselves to do evil. Sherelle Bethel, that's the problem with governments, present and past. They are reactive. Stop the problems before they start. Dillis Smith says, the United Nations is not our culture. God has placed us here, which is our birthplace. We have a sovereignty which the leaders must enforce. When I told some of the political leaders they need to use iron hands on these people, but they were too soft on them. They are not serious. Someone should take a stand regardless of who it affects. The law is the law. Thank you all so much for streaming live today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's PJ Johnson. PJ, thank you for streaming. I know you are hours ahead in your time zone. Absolute nonsense. If they can build, every Bahamian should be able to build anywhere. I am aware of many people whose land were taken by ZIP, so that this is an absolute nightmare and disgrace. And PJ, it's happening and it's been happening, and you know, trying to address it. Peachy Churston says, exactly, sir. They are annexing this country right before our eyes, Haitians and Chinese, and we are sitting quietly and doing nothing about it. And see, that is the thing. Welcome back, please, to the conversation, the leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party, Ali McIntosh, as well as leader of the People's National Coalition, Garth Rosborough. And see, Garth, that's what you said. And many people recognize it. They pointed out, etc. But again, as Glenroy always pushes and says, when we decide to not be participants in our democracy, in our country, etc., and to be distracted with other things, then we are often overtaken.
And he's quite correct. We as Bahamians, you know, when I hear someone say to me, I'm so frustrated, I'm so tired, I'm not even going to vote. I don't think many Bahamians understand what it takes to actually vie within an election, what it means to be a candidate, what it means to be a leader of a party. You're talking about sacrifice financially, sacrifice in terms of your social life, sacrifice in terms of your sleep. It's not all glitter and glamour. You are actually in a battle between good and evil. And these type of situations that you're speaking about now, Ms. Miller, these conversations that are somewhat terrifying to most political parties, we as a Bahamian First, as a Christian nation that we call ourselves, have to begin telling the truth. And the truth is that we are too lackadaisical and we're too uncaring. We need a government that's going to be involved in the daily lives of the Bahamian people. Right now, in terms of our population, I heard you mention our population and these people coming into our society, about the growth factor. It just amazes me that Bahamian people are very loving people. I'm going to use the word loving today. I know we do a lot of in quote juicing. But it seems that these other people, when they do this loving act, they tend to create more embryos and more children than we do. I have an acquaintance from Haiti. He only makes triplets. He's on his second set of triplets, you know. And so I don't know what is in our diet as to why we're not producing more, but I would say this.
So you're saying, God, that we need to have more children?
Yes.
We need to have more children, but not only more children, we need to be able to afford these children. And this has been the dilemma. The average Bahamian would probably love to have 4 or 5 children, would like to have a white picket fence and a house, but where are we going to get this money from? The government, every dollar we make, for instance, our minimum wage is what, $5 an hour, Ms. McIntosh, if I may ask, or Ms. Miller?
Well, some people are paying $5.50.
5? Okay, so on an 8-hour day, that's $40 for the day. So people in Grand Mama, by the way, they don't have no job, but I'm talking about those who have the minimum wage job. And so for $40 a day, Ms. Miller, take away jumping on 2 buses to get to work. That's $3 each way. That's $6 away from your check, and lunch is going to cost you $7 to $10. Okay.
Well then, Garth, you were talking about lunch, and that is where we come in. We have to learn sometimes to pull back on certain things to get where you want to go, because we want the $12 lunch a day.
Yeah,
on that minimum wage.
To be honest with you, I've been several places around the world, and the one thing that a poor man prides himself in is a good meal. Let's just tell it the way it is. When you broke, a good meal can make you feel so much better. And so right now, with the stress and the tensions that we have right now with the COVID-19, the shutdowns, my God, if someone could just give you a steak right now with some onions and saute that over some potato and my Jesus, some broccoli on, what you would do for that? But everybody right now is eating ramen noodle and hot dogs. That's unconscionable in this country.
If I may, I'm sorry we fell off, but I want to get in this conversation. We talked about the inspiration to getting people back, not only to work, but back to life. Inspiring, motivating,
inspiring leadership,
of course, and education, all of those things we're supposed to be doing as a government.
Yes.
Okay, we think Ali slipped out again. Ali, I hope you can come back in, because that's hugely important what you're saying right now. A leadership that inspires, leadership that gets people dreaming again, because I think this country needs it. And Garth, quite frankly, you in the position of leadership, Ali, hurry, come back in. Are Bahamians interested in being inspired?
They are definitely looking for inspiration. Unfortunately, as a religious nation, the inspiration that we got for a number of years was sow a seed and you will be blessed in a copious way. You know, your blessings are to come to you so tenfold and 100-fold, and the people still have yet to get this blessing. And so if the preachers are not able to deliver and the politicians are not able to deliver, who is going to deliver? And that is the dilemma that our Christian nation has found itself in. Simple things like land, simple things like the ability to earn revenue has been robbed away from the grasp of the Bahamian people. Look at Grand Bahama, for instance. Grand Bahama, I said to you before, is like a bomb fell on Grand Bahama and exploded everywhere. You're talking about homelessness, joblessness, stress. People at their wits' end, living in their cars. I remember they were living in their cars back for 2013-14, and only now people in Nassau living in their cars. Where is the hope? Where is the salvation in all of this? The leaders have to be responsible for this.
Okay, let's shift gears, Garth. Ali is having internet issues. Let's shift gears and talk about the 2021-2022 budget. Top accountants and industry watchers are saying the budget isn't here or there. It doesn't make any grand statements. It doesn't help move the economy. It does nothing to the economy. Your thoughts?
And you're like right on the nail head. I see the promises to assist small businesses, and you know that irked me, and I'll tell you why. In 2010, 2011, for those who can recall, East Street, Blue Hill Road, Market Street, booming family-owned businesses that surpassed generations, maybe 2 generations of family-owned businesses. And due to the road works, all of those businesses were basically shut down. But there was no energy given to these people. There was no funds or
stimulus thing,
given to these people in order to get their businesses back. So it almost seemed as if the government intentionally closed these businesses down. Now we're at a point where the government is saying, we are encouraging small businesses. But if you are encouraging small businesses, is it a grant or is it a loan? And if you're giving,
but isn't that the hope that you are asking for? That you are saying that the country needs in terms of its leadership providing its citizens? Because, for example, last week, Garth, several people wanted me to explore in detail what the Prime Minister said about this grants or this incentives. These incentives rather for small and medium-sized businesses. Of course, we're going to listen more to the budget debate as it progresses, but we're just kind of getting in here at this level now. But isn't that a part of the hope that leadership should provide?
Leadership, yes, should provide. I do commend them for even making the effort. My issue with it personally, though, is that how do you inspire me now to open a business, invest in a business venture? Because not only will you give me the funds to get established, I'm also going to invest some finances. I'm going to invest my time. I'm going to invest my energy. Where are the customers, ma'am? Where are the customers? We're in a lockdown. We are under emergency order. What business do you think I can now accomplish and become profitable in so doing at this particular time? The monies that you give me will go right back in the hands of the oligarchs and the wealthy people who own the real estate. They own the ports. They own everything around us. Where is my stakeholdership in all of this? It takes normally 3 years for any business to even feel some sense of accomplishment. Under this COVID-19 and emergency orders, you're now looking at least 5 to 7 years, the best of us can possibly accomplish. So the stimulus package for me, I like the little Christmas present they're giving to us, but I'm almost certain too that this present will be given to their friends, their families, and their lovers. So once again, where is the average man of this? And if you really want to stimulate an economy, let me just throw this in there quickly, why don't you go ahead and stimulate Grand Bahama?
Well, I think it's for everyone, eh?
Long overdue.
Grand Bahama has been overdue now for at least 20, 25 years. They have been overdue. But don't you think it's for anyone? Because a few of those people who asked me to look into it were from Grand Bahama, and they are taking advantage of it. And so they are very, very happy to see this announcement.
And so once again, when we give them the stimulus package under these particular guidelines, where are the tourists in Grand Bahama? Where are the people that have money in Grand Bahama? I do understand that mostly only the people who are employed by the port have some type of gainful employment or civil service. Other people are in dire straits. So once again, I want to know, where is this boom in the economy going to come from based on this stimulus package?
Brenda Cooper, I like what you said. Bahamians have to be self-motivated rather than being entitled, and that goes two ways. But you are so right about that. Absolutely right. Stephen Ferguson says, I don't care how innocent it may seem. The facts of illegal lawlessness still remains. What the United Nations and the Haitian government should have done is get some tickets with direct flights back to Haiti. The Bahamas law still stands no matter what, period. Louis Barton says healthcare on the whole, anyone within that field should be making $5,000 and an extra $2,000 in hazardous pay, given that they have to be hands-on with this virus. They certainly should be paid shoots and teachers. Let's not forget them. Everybody discovered how important they were now. Carolyn Cooper says, please stop dissing Grand Bahama. All is not bad as you're saying. Please, leave my Grand Bahama alone. Well, there you hear it. Speaking of that hope, Carolyn Cooper is saying, Sir Garth, all is not lost in Grand Bahama and for Grand Bahama. The Grand Bahama, there are people, and that's why I told you, there were some people in Grand Bahama who reached out to me last week and say, Shenique, please go through this what the Prime Minister has told us and announced rather, just initially, because the budget debate is now just getting started, but go through it because this is exciting news for us. We want to take advantage of this. We want to jump in on this. And so this is what D. Carolyn Cooper is saying, Garth. Let's just see. Alexis Dean says, agreed. They gave me the grant to support my spa, but still shut me down. That hurt. Alexander Sturb says, Renford Wells say we leaps and bounds better. I'm trying to just get to a few of your comments. Keep your comments coming. We are going to take a quick break and come back with more of the conversation on this Hot Topics Monday. By the way, share the live stream. It's good to have you all streaming today. Welcome to Monday's Hot Topics. The conversation comes back right after this.
See why you leave people where they are.
Need a little conversation.
Beyonce may have said that she woke up like this, but remember, Beyonce has a whole team of experts to help give her that flawless look. It's your turn to shine in the skin you're in with your team, Flirty Girl. We help you contour your body, enhance your curves, and embrace your skin with our fat-burning laser lipo and breast and butt enhancements. Relax with a facial, a massage or detox, and try our fitness and nutrition coaching, or even our specialty services, Brazilian wax, and intimate skincare and intimate brightening treatments. Let your inner smile glow on every inch of yourself. Maybe even surprise him with a male or couples experience. This is your invitation to unveil your beauty. Request a consultation today by calling 677-1689 or WhatsApp 467-9630. Flirty Girl, where you are beautiful.
It's the connection of a couple. It is the harmony of intimacy and pleasure, love and satisfaction. It's time to have a real conversation about the bedroom, the tips and tricks to bring even greater pleasure to your partner. Deepen your intimacy and strengthen the fire with Miller's Media Group's bi-monthly sex talks, featuring Diane Gibson.
Taking it step by step.
Welcome back to the conversation as we just bring everything together this afternoon. Hi, Agnes Ferguson. It's good to have you streaming live. Thank you so much, sis, for always being there, always supporting. Thank you very, very much. Also, let me just get to one or two comments. Good afternoon to you, Sharon Scott. Thank you. Louis Barton says, I am not an F&M. Let me make that clear. But would there be any other way to make the budget without borrowing? Okay, I got that comment already. Alexander Stirrup says, oh, I got those comments already. Okay, good. Listen, Garth, come back in, please. Today we are talking a little bit about the budget, a little bit. Ali, there you, well, wow, there's Ali. Ali, I tell you, I'll start with you first. So we're talking a little bit about the 2021 budget, of course, 2021-2022 budget. And of course, there's not much to say, just initial tidbits that came out as the budget is the debate is starting this week. It was really just the budget communication that the Prime Minister, of course, who leads the budget debate as is standard, kind of just put some things out there last week. And this is what we're just picking on and talking about. We also began today talking about the Shanty Town illegal community situation in Abaco. I think it's in the Treasure Key area and what's happening there, called the farm. And so I am happy today to have leaders of two political organizations here. Ali McIntosh, the servant leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party, Garth Rosborough, the leader of the People's National Coalition. Thank you both very much for joining here this afternoon and giving your wonderful perspectives and great insight. Thank you very, very much. Ali, I will give you an opportunity first to have a final comment and wrap up. And then of course we will go to or we could do it vice versa, because you were in and out because of internet issues a lot. So Garth, we can start with you, then we'll finish with Ali.
Well, this is the end of the show?
Ali, you will have the final word. Sure. And please check your internet for next time, please. Go ahead, Garth.
I have gotten new internet by BTC, and I don't know what's happening.
Oh, Jesus, Lord. Maybe that would be the case. The internet by BTC. Garth, go ahead.
To the listening audience and Ms. Miller, the one thing I've learned to be is very sensitive to other people. While I was at the corporation at BAIC and I had an office, I had a regular monthly income. You could never fully appreciate or understand someone who is not working, someone who is struggling, someone who's at dire straits, because you yourself are taken care of. There is no island in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that I would ever diss. This is my country. And when people come to me and they show me an international bazaar, they show me the downtown area with the food store and the taxi drivers were lined off and there was no customer coming anytime soon. See, I've been to Grand Bahama. I've spoken to a lady who owned a takeaway and the port was wanting to collect the fees on her rent and she couldn't find the money.
Well, someone just said, one second, Garth, someone just said, Jay Rashad, I see you, Jay. Jay said the show is too short. get it back to 2 hours. Someone, I missed the comment, I can't find it, but I'll just sum it up. Someone said, ever since the new Grand Bahama Port Authority came into place, things have been just not good in Grand Bahamas, what they're saying. Finish, Garth.
And so what I would say to Bahamian people is stop being critical about other people who are trying to help our country. It makes me almost feel as if you have evil intentions yourself, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not going to apologize for saying it. I love this country. I love these people. We are the best in the world. And if we truly believe that, we have to learn how to invest in ourselves. So the budget today was the budget we got yesterday, last year. All of the promises were from last time. And the excuse to borrow again isn't something new. That's why we say borrow again. There is no injection given in this budget to say to us how we are going to grow the economy to decrease our borrowing. There's nothing in that budget that says to me, we are ready now to give you, Ms. Shenique Miller, 10 acres of land and give you a stimulus in order to grow food in this country so that we can be better sustained and less reliant on the international world. If the WTO comes, and I'm going to close on this so Ali can have a share. If the WTO comes and people come from all over the world to have their stakeholdership in this country, I do believe that the first line of defense is to give the Bahamian people the education that they need, to give them the financial being in order to sustain themselves and to grow their own pockets and their own homes. I believe if Abaco could be a booming place and Long Island could be a booming entity, Harper Island is booming, Exuma is booming. The Bahamian people know how constituency to constituency, territory to territory, know how to make their own money. The government controlling us all with taxation and increase in taxation and fees and booking everybody on the street who's going home after 10 because they're trying to find something to eat. It's ridiculous. We need love, we need care, we need empowerment, we need a better Bahamas for the people.
But you also need self-discipline, don't you? You also need because if the curfew is 10, for whatever reason, but it is to keep you safe, shouldn't you be disciplined? Ali, go ahead.
You should, Ali, but a hungry man lacks discipline.
Where you gonna find the food at 10? But Garth, we have to wrap up. We have to wrap up. Go ahead, Ali.
Everyone would have closed at that time, but I love the fact that you spoke about self-discipline. When we begin to re-energize the inspiration of the country by the preamble of the Constitution, those beautiful core.
Oh, Ali, what's happening?
Well, I'll just say it, and then
Garth, you have a minute, please, and then that's us.
Yeah, the Constitution that she speaks of definitely needs reform. We need all hands on deck. The people of the Bahamas right now, we have to strip ourselves of political divide. We have to unite on this particular front, because if we do not unite at this time and work together, we are going to lose ourselves and we're going to lose our country. Thank you, Ms.
We have to, Garth. We absolutely do. Listen, I thank you very much, social media audience. Thank you all so much for streaming live with us today. Thank you, Ali McIntosh. Thank you, Garth Rosborough. And again, thank you, social media audience. I saw North Miami Beach saying hello. I couldn't find the comment, but hello to you. And thank you for streaming live today with us as well. Please do share the live stream if you haven't done so. And we will certainly see you on Wednesday. Everybody have a great evening. Thank you very much, Kara. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great evening and see you on Wednesday here on The Conversation.
Need a little conversation. You need a little conversation. We can go far with the conversation. Here with Shenique on The Conversation.